gut feelings, my instincts, so much is when recently I made a pitch to WorldMax. That's right, WorldMax International. And through the grace of God and Ms. Hera Lo, that's H-E-R-A space L-O, Ms. Hera Lo, her compassion and her knowledge of drums. I mean, it's amazing. It was just painless. Now, I know that everybody can't import drums, and I've had help from people I'd like to thank, you know, Andy from Dream Cymbals, the excellent Dream Cymbals, and so forth, as his brokerage, sharing his broker. Because UPS can skin you alive, or FedEx, if you have to broker through them. These drums would have cost like a Cadillac or something. Point is, how would you like to hear the drums that I've imagined, that I've dreamed about since 1970, when I first saw and heard Christian Vander, V like Victor, Christian Vander and his band Magma play. I think the song was either 2000 degrees centigrade, or the album 2000 degrees centigrade or 2001 degrees centigrade. Point is, that was a weird mother band with their own language, their own actually dialect and everything. But that song, that album, 2000 or 2001 degrees centigrade, is comprised of beautiful songs, just amazing, that straddle the line between jazz and rock, and not some kind of insipid fusion. I'm not passing judgment, it's not for me to do, but you'll see if you hear this. And like bands at the time like Soft Machine. But Christian played Asba, A-S-B-A drums. Asba, a French mark or brand. Also related to that, if you ever see drums branded Gary, G-A-R-Y, related to Asba to some extent. Okay, so ever since then, you know, I've wanted these metal drums that he had, and I wasn't able to buy Asba, but they're a thick, heavier shell than the Ludwig, for example, stainless steel that revisits us occasionally, which I bought new in the mid-70s. John Bonham used them. Problem is that I wanted to tune a little looser than Bonham. In fact, I used the stainless steel, the toms, not the bass drum, which wasn't suitable. On our demos that got us a label deal in California. They were good drums, but nothing like the WorldMax International drums. I say international because Walt Johnson, bless him, former head of Pearl in Nashville, he's well known for WorldMax drums and the Black Dawg series. They're excellent snare drums. You know, they rival the Black Beauty. And here's a puzzler for you. I reviewed in these pages the Ludwig Superlight. Remember? Steel shell, 4 inches deep, mine, by 14 diameter. Wonder who made them. Okay, so let's hear these WorldMax International vintage brass drums. Each drum is brass, each weighs like a rear axle. The floor tom, it's hard to lift. It's like that, okay? And boy, I'll lift it. For that kind of stuff, people say, well, you're nuts, you know? Get a gigging kit. What's a gigging kit? Like a Nestler or something? Like, I was just in New York, by the way, with my colleague Wayne Eagles, brilliant composer and guitarist, vastly underrated. You know, we're looking around for live entertainment, but I was showing him he'd never been to New York, but then brought him up to Times Square, and, you know, I felt lonely. I walked past, you know, the 30s, 40s, you know, where Joe Cusatis used to be. I don't know whether you caught my article now in Modern Drummer back over the years, or Nordar Rhodes, same thing, man. I miss these people. They've all been squeezed out, all except Bill Maxwell on Times Square. Drummer World, that's gone. Drummer's World, you know. Anyway, the point being, New York is, if you think your community suffers from a dearth of live entertainment, you are not alone. It was hard. We were hard pressed until we found around midnight, whatever it was, Saturday, Virginia Mayhew, a fine jazz pianist, great band, great drummer. I forget his name now. I'll try to find it. Okay, but anyway, I finally obtained these drums, the drums of my dreams, and I know drummer's dream, and that it's but as worn as the old Steve Madden shoes I had to pitch, and got a new pair in New York City. Steve Madden, designer shoes for budget prices, and they're great for playing that heel toe thing on the bass drum. That's another story. Let's hear the brass drums, Bruce. That was my nod to Chuck Silverman, the late. I miss him, he was a friend. Brilliant educator, brilliant inspirational, motivational speaker, and a great drummer. But we will miss you, Chuck. On behalf of the magazines that didn't cover your death, I apologize because you're worth it. Chuck Silverman. Okay. Rust. Nod to the great Ian Froman here. We met him for dinner the first night in New York City, Wayne and I, and our spouses, and we had a great time. And Ian is now taking international students for sort of... Anyway, you can find Ian Froman on the Vic Firth website, educational section, telling you how, in no uncertain terms, to play the ride cymbal in jazz in contemporary fashion. Like, not like this. Or the reverse with the big accents, but how to square it off and kind of, you know, you've heard the expression swung eights, like here's eights. Swung eights. So let's finish with the WorldMax International Vintage Series brass shelled drum set, which weigh far too much but sound way too good to complain. Thank you, Hera Lo, Ms. Hera Lo. All drum companies should hire a Hera Lo who knows music, who knows drums, quite obviously. Didn't want me to review them, so I'm adhering to the letter of the law, or the form, if substance or reverse. I love these drums, man. I mean, I've looked for them forever. I can hardly wait to play something like my friend Jim Kellner played on Tampa Mo Solid, so they won't come down. Or Elvira, he played on, who's that, Rodney Crown? Jeez, I just came with Elvira. You don't have to hit them that hard. You don't have to hit the WorldMax brass drums that hard. You gotta play them hard, you gotta lift hard, but you don't have to strike them hard. I mean, thank you to the brilliant Dave Maddox for these old 1960s tricks and brushes. Paul Francis for the Treat A Zildjians. You can now buy 8 Zildjians again. Listen. Okay. Count the ways I love these drums. WorldMax International. They're not sold in the United States. And maybe there's a reason. I don't know. The wonderful Black Dawg snares, to all intents, you know, the same as the old Ludwig Black Beauties. Walt Johnson, head of WorldMax USA, has done a fine job on getting those in order, but not the whole drum sets. He's not interested, and that's his prerogative, right? So let's take it out with WorldMax.